about that, guys. Janisha called, so I take it. So I ended up calling Shelby after that because they refused to help me in Page. They literally refused to. I called Shelby, explained to them what's going on, and I said, just take me back to Shelby. They'd have me back. I'm going home today. I'm done. So, yeah. Another experience I had with Walmart. The next experience I had was actually right before I left. And this is the straw that broke the camel's back. I've had multiple bad experiences, but these are the ones I'm choosing to talk about because they hold the most weight. Now, I was only scheduled to work 3 days this week. Let me take this back. I was scheduled to work the whole week, and then I had something come up that weekend, medical emergency with the family. So I had to have the last 3 days of the week shaved off. So I was only going to work 3 days that week. So I talked to management when I first came in. I won't say this manager's name. He just became a manager probably about a month or two before I left. Zach out Shelby, DC. I'm going to say it right fucking now. You are an outstanding manager. You are top of the line, cream of the crop. You are what every manager should strive to be. And you, sir, are too good to be working at Shelby and be a manager at that DC. I'm going to say it right now publicly on YouTube. Zach, you are fucking outstanding and you are too good for Shelby, and Shelby does not deserve you. I came in that night, I talked to Zach. He said, Roger that, I'll get it taken care of. Dude had it handled. He's like, you're off this weekend, don't even fucking worry about it, bro. You're good. Zach, fucking cool ass dude. Dude deserves all the best things in life. Fucking outstanding. Every manager should strive to be like Zach. So Zach, if you ever see this, you're the fucking man. You're still my boy. I miss you, dude. You're a fucking outstanding manager. So he said, Roger that. You're taking care of Gibbs. That's it. No two ways about it. No questions asked. That's it. Now, I'd originally had scheduled that my son had a PTO meeting and I was going to attend it. Being that I was riding out of Pageland, it wasn't going to be an issue for me to get over to where he lives at and get a load out there to the store, get it delivered, and go to the PTO meeting and come on back. So I go and I talk to The Rock, and they said, okay, well, that's easy. Just talk to your local office. Better yet, talk to your local office. Have them put a calendar event on you to go out there, so we'll know at The Rock and we'll be able to dispatch you accordingly. I said, Roger that, no issue. Called my home, it was like middle of the night, because keep in mind I'm running meat and produce frozen dairy, it runs at night. Middle of the night, management's not in the office. So I wait till first thing in the morning. Send a text message to the manager that's working. And she says, okay, cool. And then she texts me back maybe like 20 or so minutes later. And she's like, I see you already have a calendar event on you. And I said, yes, ma'am, those are two separate that's a completely different calendar event. I'm asking about something different. She said, oh, okay, well, I understand that. However, I can't put this calendar event on you to go to your son's PTO meeting, and you already have this calendar event on you as well. And I said, why not? She said, I just can't do it. And I said, you can't do it, or you just won't do it, you're choosing not to. And she's quit replying. So at this point, I was fucking livid. So I called The Rock, and they said, did you talk to your home office to put a calendar event on me? I said, yes, sir, I did. And they said, they still didn't do it? I said, no, sir, they did not. He said, well, why not? And I said, I don't know. She quit replying and didn't let me know. So he said, all right, I'll hook you up. So he goes and gives me the load out to where my son lives. So I go to the PTO meeting, and then come back, do some more runs, and then go back home. So I ended up getting a call from our GTM who got promoted to RTM. And if y'all think I'm bullshitting this, I can provide, I will scratch out the portions of the phone number, because I'm not going to give her phone number out like that, but I have a screenshot of her phone number, her name. I'm not going to have her name on it either. I'm going to scratch out her name and bits and pieces of the phone number. So any of the higher ups at Walmart that end up seeing this, you'll fucking know I'm legit when I'm telling you what I'm talking about. And I will show you, it'll also show the length of time of the phone call. Show that we sat and talked for almost half an hour. And she called me saying, Raymond, you know, what's going on? I heard you were very disgruntled. You called The Rock and you were, you know, pretty upset. And I said, yes, ma'am, I am. And she said, well, what's going on? And I explained, and I let her have it. I wasn't rude, but we talked about it. And I let her know. I said, these are the issues that I'm having. And she started with, she said, okay, well, let's start back with the calendar event. Why didn't they put that on you? And I said, I don't know. She goes like, well, I'm looking at your stuff right now, and there's no reason why they couldn't. They couldn't have put that on you. And I said, I don't know why either, ma'am. I said, but that's what they did, chose not to do it. She goes like, oh, interesting. I'll have to, you know, deal with that. Then she said, she's like, you know, you talked about store ambassador and this, that, and the third. And this, when I mentioned earlier in the video, when I talked about they want somebody to be here for longer than a year and embody Walmart characteristics and the Walmart spirit of core and all that shit. This is the phone call where she said that. And I told her, I said, I've been putting in to go become a store ambassador. And she's like, well, that's odd. She's like, have you talked to Leroy? I said, I've talked to, oh shit, I said his name. She said, have you talked to the head of the store ambassadors? I said, yes, ma'am, I've talked to him too. I said, ma'am, I've even talked to you about it. I said, you remember that day we sat down and we had that big discussion about the pay raise? I said, I brought it up to you that day too. She goes like, yes, I remember. And she's like, well, he should have gotten back to you. I said, ma'am, you are the GTM, now RTM. You run everything. Why? I said, you're high up there. I said, yes, he might be over. I said, you can make these decisions. I said, so why haven't you made this decision yet? If you're telling me now that we're on the phone, and now that I'm telling you that I'm really looking at leaving Walmart because of all the stuff that's going on, now you want to do something about it. I said, however, you're still trying to delegate the responsibility off on someone else. You have the power to make a definitive decision right now, here and now. But you're delegating it off to somebody else. You're choosing not to handle it. And she said, well, she's like, well, I'll just have to get back to you and I'll talk to him about it. Shout out to, well, I said his name, so fuck it. But shout out to Leroy. Leroy's a great dude. Definitely deserves to be running store ambassadors out of Shelby. He's just a busy guy, so I can't knock him. Yes, I can knock him for not getting back to me, but I'm also understand that he is a very busy man because he has a lot of responsibility outside of just being a Walmart driver. So I'm not going to drag his name through the mud because he's a good man and he has a lot of responsibility on his shoulders. So I understand, you know, why he can completely forget to get back. Now she also brought up about the training thing. And I told her, the requirement is 1 year. She was like, well, who told you that? I said, it's not Walmart policy. I said, you guys have been the one that put that out. So also your other driver mentors, including the ones that run the driver mentor program, your CDTs, the ones that are doing the hiring events have said this. And she's like, what? That's what they're saying? I said, yes. And she's like, well, you've been here for way longer than a year. I said, I know. And she said, well, we're looking for people that have more of the Walmart way, and we want you to be here for longer so you can actually, you know, truly understand how Walmart does things and really embody the Walmart way of life and how we want our Walmart drivers to think and act. And it said, yes, ma'am, that's understandable. I said, so why are you advertising 1 year if you're telling people no? I said, you're already hurting to find people to even want to be mentors or store ambassadors because nobody wants to put that kind of weight on their shoulders. I said, I am here and now telling you I'm willing to put that on my shoulders and take on those responsibilities. I said, leadership is not something that's new to me. Taking on roles outside of my specific job task is is not new to me. I said I'm prior military, I'm prior law enforcement. My record speaks for itself. My work ethic speaks for itself. I said there's no reason that would make one person believe that I don't have those qualities and characteristics that you're looking for. And she said, well, Raymond, I have a meeting I have to get to. Shelby's going to announce a new GTM since you know I left. I'll talk to him about it and have him get back to you. And I said, all right. Excuse me. And she hung up the phone, and that was the last I heard of her. And right then and there, that's when I said, all right, I'm done with Walmart. All the personal stuff I have to deal with driving and getting to and from work and all the expenses and whatnot is a lot in and of itself. I said, but this right here is the straw that broke the camel's back, because now you're basically just showing basically you don't give a fuck. So yeah. So after that, I finished that week, and that was my last. That was my official last week at Walmart. I took like a week and a half off of work. Hung out at the house, did some stuff around the house, hung out with Janisha, the wife, and the kids. You guys know. Took some time off, and then I started at Veteran Carriers, and I've been working here since, and I love it. I absolutely love it. No real complaints. I'm doing really well over here. Of course, there's always things you could like and want better for your for a company, but all in all, everything included, or should I say, just everything, the whole kit and caboodle, Veteran Carriers is truly taking care of me. So yeah. So all in all, at the end of this video, would I recommend Walmart to be a company to go to? Yes, I would. Because like I said, prefacing this second half of this video, like I have stated, a lot of the things I went through are truly DC specific, and it's because of Walmart and how it is because of my DC and how they handle certain things. That is why I had some of the experiences that I had. I can definitely say there are a lot of other drivers who will say they've had outstanding, awesome, wonderful experiences at their DC and have never, ever, ever been talked to or had any of the certain kind of negative experiences that I have ever had. They haven't had it. So that's fair, and I understand that people, their attitudes, how they feel, their own personal lives, everything, all that kind of stuff goes into play with work and how they perform in the office and how that can affect their demeanor towards drivers. I am not ignorant to the fact that makes a difference. So I am going to knock them for it, but I am also going to show a level of understanding, because I do understand that they have a life outside of work, and their personal issues and battles and weight that they have on their shoulders from their personal life can affect how they perform at work. That's everybody, whether you're a truck driver or you're sitting in the office. That's literally every single person. That's any person in the world that has a job. Everything can affect your job, your life at home can affect your job, just like your job can affect your life at home. So I get it, but you still need to come to work and perform. That's why you hired you, and that's why you have the job that you have. So yeah, would I recommend Walmart to someone? I'd say absolutely yes. I would also say look at how far you live from your DC. That's also another big determining factor. Look at how far you live from your DC, because I'm telling you right now, once you start getting into those 2, 3, 4, 5 hour drives just to get to work, that can really wear on you and your performance at work and your morale while you're at work. And it can make it hard for you just to want to be there. Anybody that's had any lengthy commute to work can definitely vouch for this too. Oh, another thing I want to talk about. This is the last part. when you run across those Walmart drivers that are talking about, I made $130,000, $140,000, $150,000 that year, I got into this debate with another driver on the Walmart drivers page. Because we ended up somebody was talking about outside carriers dedicated. It was like a post talking about what did you do, who did you drive for before you get into Walmart. And I showed ATS, and I was like, yeah, there's other ATS drivers that are at Walmart. So we were all in there chatting up, talking about how great of a company ATS is. And they said, this guy chimes in, he got mad because I said I was making better money at ATS than I was at Walmart. I said I was making great money at ATS. I said Walmart level money. And it really, for whatever reason, it bothered him to no end. It bothered him. So he was talking about nobody else is making the kind of money we make. I made $150,000 last year. What other company is making that? And he started going on and on and on. And then we ended up going over to our private messages, and him and I talking. He told me, he's like, not trying to be mean or anything. I know I sound disgruntled. He's like, it just bothers me when I see other people saying they make all this kind of money and they're making Walmart level money. And the more I talked to him, he actually ended up being a cool guy. And I said, well, let's talk about your schedule. What are you doing? How are you making your money? So he ended up telling me his wife has a really good job. She's a nurse. Her schedule is wild. So their home times don't exactly match up. His off days don't really match up with her off days. So what he chooses to do is he extends every single work week. So extending means basically if your DC has it, let's say they have the freight or they need people to extend, what they will do is they'll do an extension bonus. So let's say you have 6 hours or more left on your clock, on your 70 at the end of the work week. If you want to extend, you tell them, you go in the office, you say, hey, I would like to extend. You fill out the paperwork. On top of that, you make an additional 200 and depending on the DC and how bad they need it, it can range from 175 up to some DCs I've heard of giving a $300 extension bonus just for extending. So even if you just to say you worked that day, you get $300 on top of whatever you make that day. So he was like, I'm extending all the time. I extend every weekend at my DC. So now what I'm hearing is you're getting a $300 extension bonus every single week. And then you're working your last 6 or so hours. So you're making a killing that day. You're doing that every single week. And then to top that off, he lives out, his DC has a long reach. So whenever he gets trips, his trips can take him 200, 300 plus miles to the first store. And then he'll go to some vendors and run back to his DC or run to another DC. So now he's knocking down 600 plus miles a day, plus a decent amount of activity every single day. So now what I'm hearing is you're running far and you're getting good miles and good activity because of where your DC is. And then to top it off, his house is literally 7 minutes from the DC. He says he can literally see the DC from his house. From the time he gets in his car, turns his car on, backs out of the garage, the time he's pulling into his, pulling up to his truck, unloading everything he needs for the week into his truck, it's only 7 minutes. I said, that's not the average case. I said, you literally have the best case scenario for a Walmart driver. I said, I live 3.5 to 4 hours from my DC. I said, yes, when you're talking about the way your life is set up and where you live according to your DC and just all the particulars that you didn't disclose on that post, I said, it is very realistic for someone to make that kind of money. I said, because you're not missing home time, because your wife's not there, she's at work, so you're not having to give up spending time with the wife. Your kids are grown, they're all gone, so you're not missing any family time. And then when you do get off, you go home and you and your wife spend your 34-hour reset together, and then you go back to work. And you're not giving up work, and you're not giving up home time. I said, that's best case scenario. I said, that's it. You're in the top 1% of Walmart drivers because of where you live and how everything is working out for you. I said, that's a blessing. I said, you're lucky, sir. I said, but that's not everybody. That's not the majority of Walmart drivers. That said, you have to look at it from that lens of you're blessed, but your circumstances are not everybody else's. So when you run across a Walmart driver talking about they're making that kind of money, the average Walmart driver is not making that kind of money. There is a reason behind why that driver is saying I'm making $130,000, $140,000, $150,000 a year. You have some drivers who will complain, and because they've been there so long, they will actually complain and bitch and moan to the point to where they're getting all these claims runs. Claims runs, they're basically going to the stores and getting a lot of activity, and they're getting a lot of activity and a lot of miles, and they're doing this every single day. So these guys are making $500 to $700 a day, every single day. And what ends up happening is, because of that, that's not that wealth of all that of the potential activity is not getting spread around to other Walmart drivers. So now everybody else is out hustling really hard just to try to be able to make $400, $450 in a day, because somebody else is snatching up all the claims loads. They will claim that there's zero favoritism. But when you have people who have worked in the office for 30 years, and you have a driver who has worked with that person in the office, driving for 30 years out of that office, they're like best buddies, they're best friends, they're pals, they're good old boys. So they will naturally get good stuff because the office will give it to them. Yeah, I've seen it happen firsthand. And some of you other Walmart drivers that are going to watch this, y'all are going to say the same thing. You might actually say, yeah, I've seen some of that favoritism. It happens. They say it doesn't happen, but it happens. I've even had it happen right in front of me. So one time I asked, I was like, hey, I need to take this day off. The manager the coordinator told me, she was like, oh, well, you got to go on the computer, you got to do this request, you got to do this, you got to do that. Another driver, I said, okay. So I stepped to the side and was doing my paperwork to turn in for, you know the go-home paperwork that you got to do when you clean out the truck and all that fun stuff. So while I'm stepped to the side doing that before I go do this request and everything that she was saying I have to do, another driver was right there behind me. So when I stepped to the side, he steps up to the window, and he's like, oh, hey, Miss, I'm not going to say her name. He said, hey, Miss P, how are you doing? And she was like, oh, good. I'll just say his name was Todd, even though his name is not Todd. I'm just going to say Todd. She was like, oh, I'm good, Todd. How are you doing? How's the family? How's the wife and kids? I enjoyed dinner at your house the other week, all this kind of stuff. And then he said, hey, you got any availability for these 3 days off? She said, well, sure, let me check. She hops on the computer, she checks, she said, I sure do have the availability. And he was like, I need to take those 3 days off. Without hesitation, she put him in the system and said, all right, you got it, you're off those days. And I went back over, I said, Miss P, what happened to all this paperwork that you got to do? And then she just looked at me and she said, what days do you need off, Raymond? And I told her the days. She goes like, oh, those days have availability, you're off. So basically, I called her out. I'm like, why are you doing this for someone else? But meanwhile, I'm newer here, and you're not being fair. So when there was no way around it or way to talk herself out of it, she just went and gave it to me. And from that point on, that's when I learned that's how you can get time off. You don't got to go through this long rigmarole. Just ask the coordinator, do you have availability for a driver to take off on Tuesday or Wednesday? And it's either yes or no. And if it's yes, they'll give you the time off. And that was it. But that's another experience that I had. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that goes on at Walmart behind the scenes. there's stuff that's not right that happens, but they also do a lot. They do a lot of stuff right. A lot of things can happen that are really dependent on your DC, and I know I've said that a bunch of times throughout this video, but I cannot stress that point enough. These experiences I had are from Shelby and Pageland, South Carolina. You might be watching this video saying, hey, dang, I might not want to go to Walmart, but you might be trying to get hired out of a DC that's in Alachua, Florida. Alachua, Florida is the bomb.com. They're fucking friendly down there. I love those people. Anytime I saw I was going to Alachua, Florida, I damn near busted a nut, because I just knew I was going to have a great experience, and they have yet to ever let me down going down to Alachua. So hey, these are my experiences from Shelby and Pageland. If you're looking to Walmart, and you're like, hey, you know, don't let what I'm saying deter you from it. Just understand that you're gonna go there and you're gonna see and experience things that might make you take a step back and be like, what the fuck? But if you're willing to go to work, sift through the bullshit that happens, get your loads, do your job, and just ignore a lot of stuff to get your paycheck, then by all means you can make Walmart work. It is a good company. There's a lot of beautiful, outstanding things that Walmart has to offer that other companies just can't match. Even if they wanted to, they can't match. But there are a lot of things that Walmart needs to fix. And if they want to get their recruitment numbers up and slow that turnover rate, they're going to have to fix a lot of the things that I'm talking about. I know that if they do fix these things, it's not going to be an overnight change. It takes time to fix such a large, well-developed system and establishment. It takes years and time to fix. So I'm not expecting an overnight change, neither should you. But these are some things that do need to be worked on by Walmart. But somebody might ask, well, would you go back to Walmart? Yeah, if I could get back on out of Lawrence, maybe in the future. I like Walmart. I don't think I want to go back now because I love what I'm doing. I've always loved flatbed. You guys know that. I've been watching the channel, rock with me for a long time. Y'all know I love flatbed. So I'm happy where I'm at. I have a Monday through Friday schedule. I'm off on the weekends. The pay is outstanding. I'm still making the kind of money I was making at Walmart. I have my own take-home truck that I don't have to share with anybody. It's a long-nosed Peterbilt 389. I got this truck with 100,000 miles on it. I'm governed at 74 miles an hour. Dispatch outstanding. Literally, I pick up the phone, I can talk to them. Literally how we handle our dispatches. They send it to you in a text message. It's all like, they have like an app that we can use and whatnot, but they send it to you on a text message. And if you have any comments, questions, or concerns or anything, you just call them and ask, and they'll give it to you. They'll handle it right then and there on the spot. They work late, so they might leave the office at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock Central Time, but they'll never leave the office without you having a dispatch. So if they gotta work late, if they gotta work a little late to get you a dispatch, you're going to have a dispatch that night before you go to sleep. Or if you don't have one that night, when you wake up in the morning, you're going to have a dispatch on your phone. Or before your 10-hour break is up, you're going to be able to, I can text my fleet manager and say, hey, Miss Kayla. Miss Kayla is so sweet. I love her to fucking death. Kayla's badass. I love her. I say, hey, Miss Kayla, what you guys got for me today? And she'll be like, hey, your load is coming through just right now. I was actually just about to message you. It's funny you said something. She'll send me all the load information and paperwork right then and there on the spot. And that's it. And it's literally you're out here making your own decisions. If there's any issues that arise, you just let them know. And they'll let you be the final boss of whatever's going on. And you just let them know, and they'll plan accordingly. It's great. Yeah, it's great. So do I see myself leaving to go back to Walmart? No, not right now. Is Walmart somewhere where would I go back to it? Yes, but it'd have to be at a DC other than Shelby. It'd have to be strictly Lawrence. It's either Lawrence or bust. There's no two other ways, unless circumstances or something changed in my life, where for whatever reason I move and end up closer to another DC, where I'm very close or within a manageable distance. Then yeah, I'd probably look at going back at somewhere other than Lawrence. But like I said, it all depends on circumstances. But anyway, guys, as always, like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate you guys bearing with me throughout this time while I was gone, just taking care of the family and the family's needs and everything like that. You know, y'all have stuck around, and I can't stress how thankful I am for that. But as always, like, comment, subscribe. Any questions that you feel I did not discuss in this video, please drop them in the comment section. I will get back to you. I will answer these questions for you. Like I said, this is a long, lengthy video, but this is definitely one of my videos that I think you need to listen to from start to finish. Car ride about an hour and some change in your time. While you're driving down the road, throw this on speaker in your car and listen to, in your truck or in your car and listen to it. If you have about a good hour or so, or if you just want to break it up over a course of a few days to hear everything I've got to say, by all means, do whatever you've got to do. But I will say, you do need to listen to this video from start to finish, because in my opinion, I feel it is very insightful on Walmart and everything that's going on. I apologize for the length of the video, but in my opinion, it's well worth it. And I think that you guys that have taken the time out to listen to this, you will get something out of this video too. You'll walk away with a little bit more knowledge to help you make your decision for Walmart. All right, guys, take care.